Wednesday, October 18, 2023. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, stakeholders calls for restructuring of federal government amnesty program. Rivers State University warns public of imposter defrauding job seekers. INEC records 1,000 pre-election litigations on 2023 polls. Police hold interagency security meeting on election. And on foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden in Israel on solidarity visit. I am King Ife Moyeli with the news. Now, the National Coordinator South-South Leadership Forum, ANAB's Sarah Iwe, has called for the restructuring of the Presidential Amnesty Program to ensure peace and security in the Niger Delta. Speaking on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire, Mr. Sarah Iwe said the present amnesty program should be made to create infrastructural development and maintain economic stability by bringing up programs to engage the youth of the Niger Delta and take them off the creeks.
Government needs to reposition amnesty program. Let it be an agency responsible for the movement of arms. Let it be an agency that will ensure peace, security. So you need a program that will mop up people, the youth, from the creek, from the region to a place where they are comfortable, to an extent that they will not be interested in criminality.
Mr. Sarah E. also criticized the lack of commitment from state governors to see that the amnesty program brings development to the region.
You don't pay somebody money without orientation, without regular discussions, without regular lecture or teaching, with the view of getting a different mindset. Now you are paying only militants and you are moved from the place. What about those who are not in the amnesty program? Governors of the region have not proved themselves to be working for the region. As I speak to you, the oil-bearing communities are still living in squalors. If amnesty is not there today, we would have got a worse situation in this country, in the Niger Delta region. If you want to really manage the oil and gas sector, you have to retain the amnesty program.
Moving on now, the registrar of the Rivers State University, Sydney Ayinda, says the man who was arrested for allegedly defrauding job seekers at the university is not a staff member and cannot act on behalf of the university. Dr. Ayinda, in a statement, described the man, Philip Oderegi, as an imposter and warned the public to be careful to avoid falling victim to fraudsters. He said the university concluded its hiring procedures last year with approval from the River State government. Yesterday, the police in River State arrested Philip Oderegi, who was almost lynched by some of the victims who cited him at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, UPTH. He was saved by security personnel after he was attacked. The suspect is accused of collecting between 200,000 naira to 450,000 naira from his victims with the promise of giving them employment. One of the victims, Otavino Stephen, is demanding a refund.
We want him to pay us all the money that he has taken for the job that he said that he's going to give us and he's not giving to us. So I don't see any person that's working with UST that he says is giving job and now he's still here to pay us our money. We want him to pay us back our money. All of us, that the number of persons that he has collected 450k from, 200k from. That's what I want.
In a related development, an analyst, Andy Abotive, says the issue of extortion has continued to persist in the primary healthcare centers in River State because the government has failed to recruit professionals into the healthcare system. Mr. Abotive, in an interview with correspondent Martha Okere-Nkem, urged the state government to carry out proper surveillance of the health centers.
The primary healthcare centers have been left unmanned so that anybody who is a worker just does whatever they feel like doing. That's why you have these kinds of extortions. Don't be deceived. The authorities are aware of this. Government should be serious. You should have a mechanism that checks control officers that are placed in these organizations, either in form of people control or system control. As long as you do not have them, you will continuously have patients claiming that they are being extorted.
Mr. Abotive also urged the State Ministry of Health to educate people on what the legitimate fees and charges are at the primary health care centers.
If the Rivers State Ministry of Health has not said to the people through any form of jingle what they are supposed to pay for and what they are not supposed to pay for when they go to the primary health care centers, how then do you think the people will not be extorted? The patients are not even aware through any protocol that is coming from the lips of government. If they do not know, the health workers will take advantage of that. The Honorable Commissioner of Health is quite experienced to be able to check these things if indeed she wants to check it.
Recall that the Rivers State government denied allegations by some young mothers who claimed that they were asked to buy syringes by nurses at some primary health care centers in the Obiakpo local government area. The coordinator of Rivers State Task Force on Illegal Trading and Motor Parks, Felix Nwadibe, is asking motorists to report and assist in arresting imposters of officials of the task force. Speaking with correspondent Emeka Otuka, Mr. Nwadibe said some of those extorting motorists, particularly at Rumokoro Garrison waterline flyovers, are former task force members dismissed for misconduct. Mr. Nwadibe also explained how to recognize legitimate members of the River State Task Force.
If there are some group of persons wearing this our current vest operating with any other motor other than this our Ford Ranger, they are illegal. They are illegal. They can be arrested as well. Anytime you see my boys, we are always on convoy, and they must be on this our vehicle, the Ford Ranger pickup. So if they are not with it, they are not my boys.
Recall that a resident of Port Harcourt, Osagie Sylvester, recently raised alarm over extortion of motorists by individuals who claim to be affiliated with the River State Task Force around the Garrison Water Lines flyover. Some residents of Rumekini in Obiakpo local government area have raised concerns over the bad state of the road leading to their healthcare center, community secondary school, and other internal roads in the area. They told our correspondents that heavy rains, which cause flooding in the area, make movement difficult. They called on the River State government to reconstruct the internal road alongside the Port Harcourt Ring Road project. As you may know, the bad state of the road which links Airport Road, Alakahia, Rumosi, and Alo has led to traffic at the Rumekini-Rumosi junction on the east-west road. The Port Harcourt Ring Road design proposes a flyover at the junction. Some residents of Iba community in Emoha local government area are raising concerns about the unwholesome activities of some men dressed in military uniform. They alleged that these unidentified men entered the community in white Hilux vehicles and fired shots targeting youths. The community members appealed to security agencies and the River State government to intervene.
We discovered that people putting on uniforms comes into Eba day and night looking for people to kill, of which they killed one OSPAC member at Obele. Now they are coming into Eba, of which last night they were shooting sporadically, chasing everybody away. We don't know who they have at heart now to kill. We are calling on the entire public. We are calling on the government agencies. We are calling on the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are calling on the governor of Rivers State to look into it now before it gets out of hand. Eba is no longer in crisis. Gone are those days when people were coming into Iba to kill people unnecessarily.
So we are crying out today so that the federal government, the chief of army staff, the commander of army staff will go and know why these people are coming. Because right now, as I speak to you now, they look in Iba.
The police have not spoken on this. Recall that scores of people were killed in an explosion at an illegal oil refining site in a community a few weeks. Now, the Rivers State Police Command has arrested a 42-year-old man identified as Kolawole for allegedly defiling his 13-year-old female help at Ejeku Street, Eneka in Obiakpo local government area. It was gathered that the suspect was arrested by the Human Rights Desk of the Rivers State Police Command following a complaint by concerned neighbors who the teenage girl ran to after she was defied by the suspect. Meanwhile, the spokesperson of the River State Police Command, SP Grace Iringekoko, has confirmed the incident. SP Iringekoko said the suspect is being detained and investigation is ongoing. Still to come, police hold interagency security meeting ahead of elections in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa states. National Electoral Commission (INEC) says it was faced with more than 1,000 pre-election lawsuits before the 2023 general election. INEC Director Legal Drafting and Clearance Oluwatoyin Babalola said this at a two-day workshop for journalists in Nasarawa State. Mrs. Babalola said that most of the cases were due to a lack of internal party democracy, where political parties failed to keep to their constitutions and guidelines. The Acting Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetoku on Tuesday held an interagency consultative security meeting at the Louis Edet House, Force Headquarters Abuja. The meeting was organized in preparation for the off-season elections scheduled for November 11th in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo State. Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi announced this in a statement today on X. And a business economic analyst, Ignatius Chukwu, says the rising inflation is based on the price of dollars and petrol. Mr. Chukwu predicts that the inflation will still rise further to about 30% before the year ends. He spoke to correspondent Constance Mega.
A lot of people only hear about 27%. They don't know that 27% is aggregate of all the sectors of the economy. Some sectors of the economy, their own percentages are 50%. Some sectors are recording 100% increase. Some are recording 70. Something you used to buy 10,000. If you are now buying it at 20,000, it's 100% increase. It can deceive you because the fast-moving goods, FMGs, the food side, they have all doubled, jumping every day. Rice is jumping, beans is jumping, oil is jumping, but things that are not dollarized are not rising too fast.
Mr. Chukwu also says no amount of intervention from individuals can change the current economic reality. He also said the government's effort at tackling the rising inflation, including opening the borders, may also not solve the problem.
You look for alternatives to what you consume that will be cheaper. It will not totally solve it. That is why the government is trying to intervene. They have opened the borders so that foreign goods will come and dilute local goods that are expensive. A good measure to them that will reduce inflation, but it will, on the other hand, destroy local manufacturing. When the local manufacturers can no longer sell, they sack workers, then you create unemployment, create more insecurity. That's the danger. That's why you don't allow your economy to, first of all, get into trouble. Most of the things you do that will help you will rather cause you problems.
Some residents have also called on the government to reconsider the removal of fuel subsidy to address the economic challenges.
You bring so much money to the market and you end up buying very little. I think everything is coming up from the fuel to cost of production. Things are expensive, things are high. It's not easy for people.
Only God is in control of everything. Anyhow, we see ourselves manage, so we can't kill ourselves.
Before, I bought like one bag to 28,000, but now, last time I went to the market and asked the price, they say it's 50,000 a bag. So I'm able to afford to buy the bag of rice to keep for my house now.
Stop. So if you buy something of 1 naira today, tomorrow will be 2 naira. So everything I just they add money because of transport. Everything just they add. We want my government just try to help to reduce the price.
Our correspondent visited the Mile 1 market and observed a significant increase in the prices of various food items. Some traders also shared their thought on this.
Bag of price before I buy 37. For now, I buy 52 to 51. 7,000 for one bag.
Flour is up to 39, 40,000. Before we are buying sugar at 18,000, 20,000, but now sugar is up to 2,000 and the bag.
Tomato 2 cost. Nobody agree buyer because per costa is 5,000.
Feed now they expensive. Feed they cost. I make our fowl they high price. All layers we are selling 35. The biggest jumbo size 7,000. Market not today as it before. People they complain say money no. People just pay for school fees and other things. The plus house rent. Market never today. Sometimes when we buy the next day we hear some market don't increase. Sometimes we go sell finish. We go even get the complete money to buy new one.
The Consumer Price Index and Inflation Report for September 2023 showed that Nigeria's inflation rate rose to 26.72%. The National Bureau of Statistics released the report on Monday. In entertainment, Nollywood actor John Okafor, popularly known as Mr. Ibu, celebrated his 62nd birthday with his family members and friends on his hospital bed. A cake and packs of juice to spice up the celebration was put before him. To mark the day, people present where the actor sang some birthday songs for him in a bid to cheer him up. The actor has been sick for a while now. In sports, Argentina's Lionel Messi became the all-time top scorer in South America World Cup qualifying with both goals in Argentina's 2-0 win over Peru.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Now, U.S. President Joe Biden arrived in Israel today to meet Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He pledges U.S. support and says last night's hospital attack in Gaza appears to have been caused by Hamas. Israel says the blast on Tuesday evening was caused by a rocket misfired by Palestinian militants. Hamas, Palestinian authorities, and other countries blame Israel for the explosion, which Hamas says killed 500 people. Israel has carried out airstrikes on targets across Gaza since the Hamas attacks on 7th of October.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Now that's a wrap on the news this afternoon, but before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. The National Coordinator South-South Leadership Forum, Anab Saraiwe, has called for the restructuring of the Presidential Amnesty Program. The River State University has warned the public to beware of an imposter defrauding job seekers. INEC says it recorded 1,000 litigations before the 2023 elections. Police have held an interagency security meeting on election, and on the foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden is in Israel on a solidarity visit. The news was edited by Martha Okere-Nkem. Cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this afternoon. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am King Ife Moyali. Many thanks for listening.